How y'all doing? It's about 12:30 a.m. Thursday, August 22nd. I don't really have anything new to share except I've got a doctor's appointment with my podiatrist later today, and hopefully I'll hear good things. And my not world's greatest roommate is likely going to be discharged Friday, tomorrow, because he is refusing physical therapy and he is refusing care. He's telling the nurses they don't know what they're doing and to leave him alone, but he wants meds and he wants some unusual treatment, and he says he has issues where there's no evidence of him having those issues, and I guess his insurance isn't going to pay for him to stay here any longer if he's refusing care. So I guess Friday night I might get a good night's sleep. But the main reason I decided to make this video tonight, what goes along with the title, is I've done some reflection since yesterday, and I'm not looking for extra sympathy. I don't need anybody pouring over me, telling me it's going to be okay, stay strong, all that stuff. That's all nice and whatnot, and does make me feel better, but it's not going to help with this. I know all that, just thinking about this, I guess I need to talk, and I don't know, I want to talk without being talked to, I suppose. The only people I have to talk to are my parents and my best friend about stuff like this. I would never talk about stuff like this with my son. I don't want to lay stuff like this on my best friend, and my parents are very, I don't know, they have a really hard time accepting that bad stuff has happened to me and bad stuff will probably happen in the future. They're always very, we're going to get through it, we're going to beat it, everything will be fine. And, ordinarily that's good, it helps, but the last 10 years for me have been unkind, and it's just been one bad turn after another. And as time has progressed, it's gotten worse and more frequent, and it gets to a point where I don't need to hear everything's going to be okay, I don't need to hear sympathy, because it just doesn't feel like everything is going to be okay. And even though it's not to them and they mean well, it just starts to feel empty after a while, because it's not okay. And I've grown to be somewhat of a pessimist in the last 10 years, and I just don't feel like everything is going to be okay. It's, like I said, one bad turn after another, and the only thing that I can really think about is what comes next after this, what else is going to happen? And I can't stop. What else? I tried to live healthy and take care of myself, and that hasn't helped. It hasn't prevented, what's going on right now. When I go home at the end of the month, it'll be 5 months since I went into the hospital the first time. 5 months of my life has just been taken from me. 5 months of my son's life. And it's maddening to think about. And it's maddening to think about, what comes after this. I went home with my folks yesterday afternoon. Get a nice pair of jeans, nice button-down shirt, so I could go vote. See my dogs for a little bit, and all I did was walk up the stairs, get my clothes, and come back down. And the walk up wasn't too bad. And before, when I first started trying to do stairs, the toes that were left on my right foot would get hung up on the step behind me, trying to come down on that I walk crutch. So I would have to try to go down sideways, and that was dangerous and risky, and I was sure that I was going to fall and break my neck. But I discovered yesterday that now that I don't have any more toes or the ball of my foot, my right foot doesn't get hung up on the step behind me as I'm going down. And I just thought, this is such a ironic and sucky silver lining, The best I could do is, I've had part of my foot cut off, so now when I go downstairs on my crutch, I won't get hung up. Gotta find the silver lining somehow, right? I did that. I played with my dogs a little bit, got changed, and went over to the church where I vote, and voted. Walked into the church, followed that process, and walked back out. Riding with my folks, of course, because I can't yet drive. And then came back here to the facility. And I walked the length of the hall to go check on Miss V, and walked back to my room and sat down on my bed, talked to my folks for about 20 minutes. They left, and then 10 minutes later I was out. I had passed out, and I slept for almost 6 hours. And I know part of it was due to my lack of sleep already, but part of it was also due to the fact that I am not as recovered as I thought I was, or as I wanted to be. I'm still so damned weak, and it made me realize that when I go home on the 31st, the struggle's only going to get harder. This is not going to get easier. When I go home, this is going to get a lot harder, a lot more challenging. And I'm not going to be anywhere near what I want it to be by the time I go home. And this is going to go on for so much longer than I wanted it to. And it's very daunting. I I keep thinking, I'm going to go home and within about a week I'll be able to drive again and have my son back over at the house again, stay in the night, and be able to do everything, get him ready, take him to school, and do everything I used to do before this happened. And that is not the case. I don't know how long this is going to take, and it's really weighing on my mind, because when I leave here, as much as I want to go home, I'm not going to have the support system that I have here. And I was very tense walking around at home, because I don't know, it was like I felt it more being at home versus being here, because I know here, if I fall or if I get hurt, there's somebody to help. But when I'm home and my folks aren't around, it's just me. And before, when I went home, I put it off to the Zosyn, the antibiotic. But this time, that's not a factor, and I'm still so damned weak. And it feels like I'm trying to ice skate uphill, I want my son back in my life so badly. I want to try to return to some normalcy. I want to get behind the wheel again. I want to turn wrenches on something again. I want to try to capture something from before. I try not to think about it, but I look down at my foot, my stump. I know some of you don't like it when I call it that it's not positive, and it's not really positive, but it's my reality. It's not a foot anymore, and it's never going to be like it was before, and I'm going to have to relearn how to walk, and I'm going to have to adapt to new limitations that I wasn't prepared for, which I know a lot of people do that, but it's not just that, that there's everything else on top of all this that makes this so freaking hard. I don't just have to focus on my foot. I have all this other crap going on, and it's just like a cascade of badness, And it's definitely taking the wind out of my sails. It's thinking about this has really brought back my old friend depression. And I just feel beaten down and beaten about, because I've been through so much just with this over the last almost 5 months, and I'm gonna have to go through so much more for who knows how long before I kind of get back to something normal. And I just feel so overwhelmed and drained by all this. It's weighing on me, and there's nothing to fix it. There's nothing to make it any easier. There's nothing to make it better. It's just one more struggle, one more chain around my neck that I have to learn to live with, and I have to learn to adapt to. And I am nowhere near as adaptive to it or as able to live with it as I thought I was. I still really haven't accepted it, even though I know I don't have a choice. I still sometimes beg to wake up and my foot still be there. But I wake up and it's not. It's just a stump. And I can't help but think about the things I may not be able to do with my son, you know, the further limitations that I'm going to have to live with, not just those from the cancer, from the after effects of the chemotherapy, all new ones, you know, so many changes and none of them good. I have a couple of friends here at the facility that jokingly ask me to take them with them when I leave, ask me to adopt them. And I laugh, but I'm gonna have enough of a hard time taking care of myself after I get out of here. And I've got to try to take care of my son. I can't put him in danger. I can't compromise his safety because I want him with me. I can't. And I don't yet know what that means. But I'm not happy about it. I'm not happy about the inferences that it places. I just want to be with my little boy, you know. He's so excited to come home. Whenever he talks about his mom's house, it's always the house or mama's house. Whenever he talks about my house, it's home. And you know, it is. He was born not in the house, but I mean that's where he got his start. That's all he knows, and he loves it there like I do. And just on our phone call earlier tonight, he said, "Daddy, I can't wait to come home and snuggle on the couch with you and watch silly videos and play with the dogs and do all the stuff that we used to do together." And made me feel so good and so hopeful and happy. But I couldn't help but be dragged back down by this newest anchor around my neck that I can't fix and I can't adapt to anywhere near as fast as I want to. Why does life have to be so damn hard? Anyway, like I said, I don't want anybody jumping in and telling me it'll be okay, you know, be strong, things will work out, you know. I know all that, and I try to hold on to all that, but this is not the time. It doesn't help right now. In fact, you don't have to comment at all. If I don't get a single comment on this video, that's fine. I just needed to talk, you know? It's difficult to do that, and at least this way I don't have to look someone in the face and I don't have to immediately be rebuked by we're gonna get through it, we're gonna fix it, we're gonna make it better. That's what we want to do, but So far, I've got 10 years of proof to the contrary, with the last 4, 3.5, 4 being the worst of all, and it just gets worse. So, don't worry about trying to cheer me up. I'm probably not going to get cheered up until I see my son this weekend. And even then, that'll only likely be temporary. Like I said, I'm old friends with depression. I've dealt with it a long time. I feel it coming on, and I immediately start singing, Simon and Garfunkel. Hello, darkness, my old friend. You've come to talk with me again. So, yeah. Just got low and needed to talk, that's all. Don't worry about positive comments. Don't worry about comments at all. I'll get through it. Thanks as always for comments and well wishes and prayers. Thanks for subscribers. All of you that comment, like, and subscribe help out with the algorithm. I'm never going to ask you to do that stuff, but if you feel I've earned it, then by all means do so. Thank you as well to everyone that's donated. That sucks, but I can't stop it now, much as I'd like to. So as ever, that link will be in the description if you want to donate. If you don't, cool beans. I won't ask for that either. Just let it roll and do what it's going to do. Thank you all for listening, and hope you all are happier and more cheerful than I am right now. Catch y'all later. Bye.